Waterford, they beat Antrim, and Antrim led this game 11 points to 9 at the break, despite Owen Campbell being sent off. And, obviously that would have counted towards the end of the game. A last-minute penalty save from Sean O'Brien and Gerard Walsh allowed Waterford to stay ahead, along with a couple of long-range points from Conor Prunty. But I don't know, if you were Waterford, would you be concerned about that, or would you be saying, okay, we changed up things a little bit, we're not going to be too concerned, we got the win, that's all that matters?
Well, Davey called it average, I think was his term afterwards, kind of straight away. I'd say I'd be glad with get the win, but plenty kind of scope for improvement, it is just.
Top auto here says Waterford were terrible in the comments.
Yeah, but I suppose the thing is, if you obliterate a team like that, a team that's come up from the Joe McDonough and got promoted last year, how much store are you going to put in that as well? I'd probably be more interested to see what the response is now to that. You've 2 weeks now. Tipperary on a Saturday night. It's going to be the live TV game that weekend. That'll be pretty interesting to kind of see where they're at. In the same way that Wexford obviously didn't get the result yesterday. Annihilated trash by Clare, and they were away to Cork that weekend. So I guess it's kind of the reaction to it. And Clare being the perfect template if you were disappointed with their performance, how they kind of responded after it. I suppose I'm just going to be kind of interested to see who of these kind of newer players kind of start getting a run. I'm pretty interested in seeing both Fitzgeralds. It reminds me of the thing a couple of years ago, the Cork footballers having 2 Tom Clancy's in defence, like the Waterford having Padraig Fitzgerald and Patrick Fitzgerald. And Patrick obviously being the one more known because of Ballygunner, but Padraig from football club, and talking to a couple of people who worked with him, in Kilrossenty, he's really, really highly rated, and looks a really, really good talent. Was playing in Fitzgibbon as well. Ruben O'Halloran, of those 3 or 4 faces, who's going to kind of put their hand up? I mean, come back into it as well. I suppose someone like Peter Hogan as well. You think guys who are going to start in that attack, Desi Hutchinson. It just looks to me like the scale of that team change. Okay, I know it's 6 years, but from the 17 final, it's absolutely huge in terms of, Park Manny, another one gone recently. But even from the 2020, there's been kind of an overhaul again, and kind of shaking the thing up, I think it's kind of just, you get the result and you kind of move on, rather than kind of dwelling on it. I'm not sure how much the far field is kind of suiting them, or, it's pretty kind of well documented at this stage, obviously, but the difficulties they're having over the last couple of years with the kind of stadium issues and all that, but the big thing for them, I think, is more than any other team, is to just try and get out of the top 3, because they're just, for whatever reason, and I'm sure it's probably a head scratcher for them, the way how the system on the round robin years has worked for them, and how poor their record has been across, I guess, 18, 19, and 22, I think, of the 3 years of the actual round robin format, as opposed to knockout the COVID years. I don't know, what's the stat over the 12 games? I think it's 3 or 4 wins, maybe even less than that, So I think it's just trying to tap into that and trying to kind of really kind of flourish when it matters.
Who do you think are the 3 teams that are going to get out of Munster?
I kind of change it. It's Limerick +2, but it's kind of change it kind of every day. Do you know that kind of way? If you asked me,
don't be so windy.
If you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said Cork and Tip, but then you see kind of Clare kind of putting it together at the weekend. Kind of see Waterford. It's with very little conviction. You're kind of putting that out at the moment. And you see, some teams could. I don't think it'll stop in Limerick, but some teams' form could nosedive that you're not expecting.
Yeah.
Cork of a terrible year, started last year, very lucky to get out of it in the end. Tip, I wouldn't have seen it coming that they would have. Their fortunes would have slumped to that extent, and obviously Waterford. And then correspondingly, I didn't think Clare were probably going to get out of Munster last year. And obviously, okay, it was a terrible All-Ireland semi-final, but then they were the team to push Limerick to the absolute brink in the Munster final, So little things like the momentum within the shape of the actual championship itself can kind of go. At the moment, yeah, I'd probably go maybe Cork and Tip, but like I'm saying, that's with very, very little conviction. I mean, I don't think anyone is saying Limerick won't get out of it, That's the thing about it, which is interesting for Munster, that they have become, obviously this, understatement how dominant they've been over the last couple of years, but everyone just seems to be looking at Limerick +2, and then the debate kind of intensifies, isn't it?
Yeah.